Hey guys, it's Morgan coming back to you with another video on the XTNG carburetor. Where this is going to be the install video. We're going to install it onto my 2018 300 XCW named Daisy, just in case you don't know. And by the way, the 300 XC, I haven't really been calling her by her name recently, but it is Loretta in honor of the late great Loretta Lynn. So XTNG carburetor, this bike already has a 36mm Kean PWK on it. So, I mean, this bike runs great. It's got an RK-Tech head, RK-Tech piston. Anyway, whatever. All kinds of stuff done to this motor. Have not obviously ridden this bike since I got the new bike because, you know, new bike. But I'm excited to get this bike back out and do some testing against the new bike because you guys keep wanting to see that. You know, this bike all set up motor-wise versus that bike. But we have to install a carburetor first, and I don't know how that's going to go. So join me, and we'll also, in this video, we'll take it on a couple pulls down the road just to see how it feels. All right, guys, we've got the carburetor off, slide and topper still here. So honestly, the biggest question about install on this is whether or not my throttle cable will work, because I put the 21SX throttle cable and housing on this. I really like it. It's nice and smooth. It's really like super easy pull, and just anyway, I like it a lot. So I'm really hoping that I can leave that on there. That's really the goal. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this cap off, and we're gonna get the XTNG and see if it mounts up with this, or if we got to use their cable. If we have to use their cable, I'm probably gonna have to use a different housing. So hang on, let's find out. All right, guys, here's the XTNG. It's nice. These are metric Allens. Thank you guys at XTNG for using metric bolts. That's one thing I cannot stand about Electron. Is that whatever. There's not, I don't even know why you would have non-metric stuff on your carburetor. It doesn't make any sense, but it's all right. Get a towel here so we can lay everything out. Quick look at the mechanism. Focus. There we go. So that is the mechanism that allows you to click and raise and lower the metering rod. So that's an Allen. Goes in and it hits the top. There we go. Focused camera. Anyway, there we go. You can see that's an Allen. So as that turns, it raises and lowers the metering rod. But we're going to leave it right where it is for now. The big question today, right now, is whether or not this will thread into this, and if the cable is the right length. All right, so this bottom nut is actually not a nut. It's a threaded thing that goes down in. So if you had a cable with a bigger threading on it coming down in, it would still fit. So that's rad. Like that a lot. All right, now we got the spring. I'm gonna put that over just like a normal carburetor, guys. Preload that. And in there. All right, now it's loaded. So now we're gonna find out something, because when we drop this in, if it doesn't bottom out before we tighten the cap down, then our cable is not long enough. So this is gonna be our first test. See if it, and it doesn't. So that means right there, the cable is not the right length. So that is a bummer, because I really, well, I'm gonna check the free play up at the top, but this may not work. There's not enough adjustment up there to make this drop far enough down. So that is a bummer. We're gonna have to stop right now and figure this out. It did come with a cable, but I think the upper end of it is not going to work on this housing. But I do have another housing, but we might have to get a different housing for this thing, like more like a YZ, and we'll see. Stick with us for this video, because this video is going to keep going, but I personally am going to have to take a break and figure out what we got to do. And the next scene you will see is me figuring this problem out. All right, guys, we're back. It's actually the same day, because I busted out my cable making equipment and I took the inner part, because the inner part of the cable, the wire part, was the part was too short. It wouldn't allow the slide to drop all the way down. And again, this is because I'm trying to use a 125 SX throttle housing and cable onto this carburetor. They sent a different cable. I don't have the housing for that cable. I did contact them. Probably going to go ahead and get it just so I have all the right stuff. But I think this is going to work. I made a cable for the inside that is longer. I honestly just guessed at how long it needed to be. So let's see, if we're right. I think it's going to be good. It's definitely going to be close. And now, if it's hopefully, if I did anything, I made it too long, I could just cut off and move the little end up if I needed to. Now, let's see, is it gonna drop down and close? Yes, yes it did. All right, heck of a deal. Also guys, right there is the difference between a shop that just changed parts and a shop that actually can do mechanic work and fix things. We can make cables here. Not a lot of people do that anymore. Now, I have this all set up like it came. If you watch the other video, I set the air screw, or the pilot circuit, you know what I mean, I guess what do they call it, the air fuel assist. Anyway, I call it the pilot circuit. I set the pilot circuit up the way they said to set it up. So now we're going to install this thing and then set our free play, hook the gas up to it and see if it fires up. You know, I don't know. Now let's check free play at the top, because that's important that we have at least a little bit of free play, so when we turn the bars, we're not going to, you know, have the thing go wide open. Got a little bit. Even give it just a little bit more. I like it. Nice and smooth. Pretty light pull. I'm actually really happy with the way that feels. So now let's put the pipe back on it, and because I took the pipe off to be able to raise the subframe up to be able to take the other carburetor out and put that one in. So I'm going to put the pipe back on it, put the tank back on it, and I'll bring you guys back in. We'll fire this thing up and see how it does. All right, so let's turn the gas on. Does have a clear float ball. It's not my favorite part of this thing, but I guess you can make sure the level is right. I think that's good. I don't know. We're gonna find out. So I guess it's time to start it. No air filter in it, but that's because I'm cleaning it because it was gross. Yeah, let's pull the choke. Nice to have it over here on the left. Easy to get to. And if everything else is good, let's fire it up. Thing is, this bike hasn't been started in like almost 2 months. All right guys, I like the way that's idling. You can hear it, it's just level. All right, initial impression is good. Let's say, so now it's run, I got the whatever out of it, and let's just see. That's pretty good. That's better than most of my bikes idle. I usually jet them pretty rich, and usually have to give them a little bit of gas to start up, but that was none. Obviously, we don't have any heat in this thing yet, so this is all probably gonna change a little bit, but let me go ahead and finish bolting it back together, and let's take it for a spin. All right guys, I'm gonna try to make sure I don't just film the stupid handlebars this time. Sorry about that last time. All right, so this is XTNG carburetor, completely stock the way it came in the box. So I haven't touched a clicker. Well, I take that back. Actually, I set up the fuel assist circuit. So I set up the pilot circuit, but I set it up the way the book said to. Yeah, we're gonna go out here on the road and see how it feels. So the first thing, you saw how I had to start it like that. I had to hold it wide open because I think it overfilled, kind of like a smart car does if you don't turn the gas off. So that's going to be something I'm going to have to get used to, or there might be an adjustment too, I don't know. Maybe a little lean like that, so well, it's either lean or idle. I did come way in on the idle before, so so you hear that kind of, that was maybe a little lean. So we're in third gear now. Hear the idle, or the RPMs are real low. Let's just pull it. All right, so you see how there's some hesitation. That makes me think that it was probably a little on the lean side. So I'm just gonna open that fuel circuit. Definitely got to bleed my clutch, but alright, so let's open this fuel circuit up a little bit more. That was pretty quick. Alright, let's go do some runs down the road again. like that. So guys, I don't know if you can hear over the wind noise. We see how that came down much faster. Let's try third. So from super slow, it doesn't want to, but takes off pretty good right there. And right here, comes right up. Woo! Second gear through the rocks here. I wish my clutch was bled. That's what I get for not riding the thing. Pretty good. Alright, so I'm going to make sure I turn the gas off every time, because I think that's going to be a deal with this. But alright guys, first impressions. I think the XTNG carburetor is good. Now I obviously have no idea about the fuel mileage. I don't know if I have it tuned quite in. I feel like I'm getting close with the pilot circuit. It's tough coming off the other bike, you know, the brand new 300XC to this. It feels a little old school, honestly, to be totally honest. But it feels good. I feel like it's as good as the Kian that was on there. And this is a 38 millimeter, whereas the Kian was a 36. So I feel like the bottom's pretty good. So yeah, stick with me, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're gonna be testing this thing. We're gonna check the fuel mileage. We're going to check tuning and all that. I felt like maybe on a full wide open run, I felt like a little bit of a maybe of a ting. Again, this has got a pretty high compression head with the different all kinds of stuff on it. So it's not a stock bike, and it came with the carburetor setup for a stock bike. So there's definitely going to have to be some adjusting of things to get it right. But I like it. I think I'm going to be really happy with it. And let me address something you guys have, a few of you guys have been commenting on. How you're saying that XTNG has stolen intellectual property and all that stuff. So I talked to the owner and I did a little bit of research, and first of all, Electron did not invent the meter and carb. It's a guy in England many years before that. Then Electron filed a patent back in the 70s, and that patent has since expired. Then Smart Carb filed a patent in the late 90s. That patent has since expired. And so yes, is this brand new technology? No, it's not. Is it borrowed or innovated on? Yeah, absolutely. But that's how this world works. Usually someone invents something, and then the rest of the world, for the rest of life and time, innovates on that invention. And so that's what this is. As far as I can tell, XTNG is completely 100% legally okay to do this. Now, if that's not true, I'll find out, you know, maybe someone will let me know. But from what I can tell, that's the case. And you guys, I've had a couple people attacking me saying, how dare you support someone from China? How dare you? First of all, they're from Hong Kong. Second of all, people are people, guys. And just because it's Chinese doesn't mean it's not good. I am not a big fan of crap made in China. That is like just a knockoff copy piece of junk and it's no good. I'm not a fan of that. I do not feel like this is that. That is a really well built carburetor, and I think it's pretty darn good. And it wasn't very long ago, guys, when everybody in the United States hated things from Japan too. So I've been saying for a long time, I've been staying away from the Chinese brand bikes like GPX and things like that.
But I have been saying the whole time that it's just a matter of time before one of those companies does it right and does a really good job and they enter the market well. Well, as far as I'm concerned, this is a good product so far. Okay, this is the first test. I mean, I just rode it around for like 3 minutes. So, you know, who knows if it's gonna hold up, longevity, all that good stuff. So we are gonna beat on it, we're gonna test it, and I'm gonna get back to you guys with it. Hope you guys like this one. We'll see you in the next one.